It is Wednesday, the day before we all get real fat on Thanksgiving food. So let's get to these picks. My special guest, Nando. What is up, football fans? Got a special Thanksgiving video planned for you guys tomorrow. I also have a very special video planned for you guys later tonight. It's going to be a very, very cool sit-down talk with somebody very close to Tua Tagovailoa. But that's later. It's later tonight. Today, I got my guy Nando on to help me make the picks. We're going to sit down, make the picks, do all that good stuff. Yeah. But be sure to go check him out. He told me while we were filming this that he is sitting at around 400 subscribers. He said it'd be very nice to get to 500. I said, screw that. Let's get this man to 1,000 subscribers. You know, early Christmas, early Thanksgiving gift from me to him. So go check out Nando. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. But other than that, let's jump into the picks with Nando. Got my buddy Nando helping me out with the picks. Nando, how you doing, bud?
What is up, man? A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on, man. Ooh, a little bit of butterflies in the stomach, but definitely gonna be a fun time, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's always fun. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna pick games, make fun of some teams.
Let's go.
Be envious of others. I'm not really gonna be envious of others, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Before we jump into that, you obviously do some things. Tell the people what you do and where you do it and all that stuff.
Right. Again, thank you, man. It's not as definitely nowhere near as big of a fish as you, man. But you can find me at Nando Talk on Twitter at Nando Talk _ like you see on the screen. On YouTube, it's Nando space Talk. I love to give just a positive spin to the Miami Dolphins. It's a little bit of rainbows and gumdrops sometimes, but the positivity's paid off this season, man. Like, I think like one of the first videos I did, I was like happy of the off season before then we didn't get Teron Armstead until later that day. Then we got Tyreek like a couple weeks later. And like now, like the positivity just keeps paying off, man. We're 7-3, and I'm just having a good time talking about the Dolphins, man. So if you want to ever check that out, a little positive spin, good energy, good vibes, you can follow me at Nando Talk.
Go give him some support.
Opportunity, bro. We're here to fly, man.
Help him out. Help him out. So yeah, I was talking to Nando before we went live, and I completely forgot that Thursday's Thanksgiving. I knew it was, but then I also didn't know it was. And there's 3 games. There's some of them are good. We'll jump right into it. The first one, Cowboys staying in Detroit, but they're not staying in Detroit. That makes no sense to me. So they played in Detroit against the Browns. They're going back to Buffalo, and then they're going back to Detroit. Does that make
why?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You got 3 days, and don't sleep on Detroit. There are a 9.5 point underdog, but don't sleep on Detroit. They're actually playing pretty good. What's your thoughts on this game, Bills Detroit?
So I didn't know they went back to Buffalo. That's really weird. Like I would assume that they would have thought like, hey, the NFL gave us a little blessing. We get to stay in Detroit, get to minimize the little road traveling. But apparently they decided otherwise. Detroit's slowly been getting better, man. They're picking up steam. Dan Campbell's doing a nice job there in Detroit. Jamal Williams sneakily has the lead. He leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
Like DeAndre Swift's a nice little rushing tandem for him there. Off that, Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. Like they could put up a fight against the Buffalo Bills, man. Like if you're taking an underdog, man, that's definitely a fun one to ride. A little what they're minus, so they're +9 right now. I could see them trying to upset the Bills. That'd be obviously it's a Dolphins dream scenario, but.
Do you see, like, just straight up, who you picking in that one? You picking Bills or Detroit? Obviously, you're probably gonna. I'm picking the Bills.
You got to pick the Bills to be smart about it. Josh Allen.
But that 9 points. That 9 points. If you're going against the spread,
9 points is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. And Detroit's playing good. Detroit's at home. Both defenses. You know the Bills defense is good, but we'll see.
They're showing some cracks, man. I think they're like. I think Detroit has like a very bad record on like Thanksgiving games.
Yeah.
So they've got to at some point start regressing to the mean.
That's true. That's very true. I forgot about that. I gotta keep forgetting it's on Thanksgiving. The
Happy
other
holidays,
one is
man.
this is a good one. So you got like the first game, which is kind of a lopsided one because Buffalo's Buffalo and Detroit's Detroit. But this one's good with the Giants heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. 2-7-3 teams taking on each other. The spread on this one is weird to me. The Cowboys are giving 9.5 to the Giants, and I'm wondering if that's just because of the defense and how good the Cowboys defense is doing. But I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. Spread wise, I'm going Giants, but straight up, I'm gonna go Cowboys. I think their defense is doing phenomenal, and they completely destroyed the Vikings last week, so I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
Absolutely obliterated them. Like I kind of feel like I am a bit dumb. I was pegging the Vikings as one of my like sneaky NFC favorites to go to the NFC Championship, maybe the Super Bowl. And I was explaining that to my dad at the bar. I was like, yeah, this is a good team. And then I had to watch the Cowboys absolutely demolish them. To the point like they switched off the game. I've never seen that
Oh
happen
yeah,
before. And like there was a Cowboys fan freaking out at the bar. He's like, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" And I was like, "Yo, it's not the bartender's fault. It's the national media said this. It's too much of a blowout, man."
yeah, you
And
won. Just enjoy
so
it. You
I'm
won.
riding the Cowboys, man. Like they're hot right now. That defense is legit.
Yeah, they're doing really well, and with Dak Prescott back, he's actually doing pretty well as well. I don't think I said well enough in that sentence.
When
Then
he's on, man.
then we go to the night game, which I don't like that there's a night game. Side note, I'm gonna deter from our normal conversation. I think there should be two Thursday Thanksgiving games, and that is the only time there should be a Thursday game. I hate Thursday games.
Me neither.
They ruined the holiday feeling of Thanksgiving games. Now it's like, oh, it's a game Thursday. Oh, there's two more. All right, whatever. Like, I hate it. But anyway, the night game is the Patriots, who came off of one of the ugliest wins. Like, that game against the Jets was so boring. Like, holy crap. Taking on the Vikings, who got their butts whooped by the Cowboys. Vikings are still giving 2.5. It's probably just because they're home. I'm going to go with Vikings. I think they're pissed. I don't think the Patriots secondary is going to be able to contain Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I think the Patriots front is going to be able to stop Cooks. But I don't think their secondary is that good, and I think the Vikings defense is good enough to stop Mac Jones, so I'm picking the Vikings.
Hey man, I think we're gonna have to go 3 for 3 on Thanksgiving picks, man, because those Vikings, like, especially after getting embarrassed that hard,
Yeah.
they've got to try to rebound. They've got the weapons like T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. They're on that Thursday night game, and I like that point you made about the Thursday games. I'm not a fan of Thursday night just because it's usually injuries. It's usually very sloppy
Yeah.
football. I feel like Thanksgiving is actually the only time Thursday night football is not sloppy.
Right?
Like, and besides that, it's like a subpar product. Like, I know you can't move it to Friday because of like high school football. You can't move it to Saturday because
College.
of college, but there's got to be something that they could do because Thursday football is just it's not it, man. Most of the time.
No, it really isn't.
But yeah, I've got to go with the Vikings, man. Mac Jones he's just not cutting it out right now. Unless Bill Belichick works some Thanksgiving magic and he gets all the turkey legs to himself and he's like I outcoached these people, man. It's the only way it's gonna happen.
Now we're jumping to Sunday. Got the Broncos heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Both teams are just... We kind of thought that the Panthers were going to be that good. They were trying their hardest to get Deshaun Watson. That didn't pan out. And then they got Baker. And then after... But the Broncos, they lost to the Raiders in overtime. Russell Wilson isn't Russell Wilson anymore. It's only 2.5 points that Denver's giving. This one, it's like flip a coin, honestly. I'll go with Denver just because I like their defense better, but their defense isn't that good anymore because the Dolphins took Bradley Chubb. So I'll still go with Denver, but again, with this one, you flip a coin at that point.
So I think it's a coin toss. I thought when the Panthers started trading away players, they were going to collapse, but they've hung on tight still, surprisingly enough. They're actually supposedly naming Sam Darnold as the starting QB
Again.
again. So, I mean, I guess it's an improvement from Baker, but I'm gonna ride with the Panthers.
Okay.
I'm a big anti-Russ guy. I have been ever since I had to watch him lose the Super Bowl to the Patriots and Tom Brady. I was like, "You're dead to me, man. Like, you cost me some pain, man." Like, I went from making fun of my Patriots friend next to me to him just towering over me in victory. So yeah, I've not been big on Russ. So watching his downfall this year has been a bit of an extra glory for me. I've had buddies text me. They were like, dude, 7 years later, man, it looks like you're right, man. System QB. So doing a little victory lap. But so I'll go with the Panthers. Hopefully it furthers my case. And I think Sam Darnold, if for one game, can maybe activate a little bit of DJ Moore action. See if a spark for that offense.
I can see it happening.
The defense is decent.
Like I said, either way.
It's coin flip, man. It's definitely not a pretty game.
No. Next, we have the Buccaneers heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns actually put up a pretty decent fight against the Buffalo Bills. They got real close. There were some tic-tacky calls by the refs that I'm not going to say determine the game or not. You got Tampa kind of 500. That whole NFC South is real sloppy. 3.5 Tampa's given. This is another one. It could go either way. It really could go either way. I'm actually going to probably pick an upset here, and I'm going to go Cleveland. I think the way that Cleveland put up yards and the way Jacoby Brissett played against the Bills, I think that they could do that against Tampa, and they're home. I think they get off their losing skid, and I'm going to pick the Browns. And then I think next week Deshaun Watson comes back, so they'll get that win, and then all of a sudden they'll tell Jacoby to sit down.
Thanks, Jacoby. That was enough. That was enough, buddy. You take your rest. You've earned it. We're bringing in Deshaun. They took the flag for a reason. They've got to bring back Deshaun Watson, even if Jacoby wins this game. Tom Brady's still undefeated since the Giselle thing, man. So it's
that's true.
Maybe that was the secret magic, bro. I think it's probably be the first time in my life I'm saying this, but I'm riding with Tom Brady, man.
Wow.
So that's
you're dead to me.
You just kicked me off the show right now. Just do the rest solo. You're like, well, technical difficulties for Nando.
If I lost them, okay, well, I'll just keep on going. Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Ravens are given 4. I thought it would be more than that. Ravens are another team running hot right now. Lamar's doing Lamar things. Jaguars are all right. They're not too bad, but I don't see them beating the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Ravens with this one.
Yeah, no, Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. Like, Trevor Lawrence is, I guess there's been some signs of life in Jacksonville, some improvement, but it's not enough to keep up with Baltimore. Like, Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, 100%. This next one is interesting to me. Chicago heading to New Jersey. Yes, I said New Jersey because they're not in New York. Heading to New Jersey to take on the Jets. And again, the Jets are bad on offense. Defense, top 5. Offense, hot garbage. Zach Wilson, the worst. And the fact that he didn't own up to the fact that it was his fault, did you said no.
No.
Get out of here. A lot of people think that the Jets, right? I think the Jets are giving 4.5. The Bears defense is, it's not great. It's not too bad. They lost to they keep losing close games. They lost close to us. They lost close to the Falcons. They keep losing close games. But if Justin Fields plays, because I know he's banged up, I think he has like a shoulder injury or something. If he plays, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Jets. Because how dynamic that kid is. And again, not to knock him, and I'm not knocking Lamar, but they're more running backs than they are quarterbacks. Like, if you watch the past couple of games, he's had at least 100 yards rushing in these games. I'm going with Chicago in this one. Unless they make a move with Zach Wilson, I don't see the Jets offense doing enough to match what Chicago can do. And I'm going with the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears. I didn't know that Fields. I knew he had like a dislocated shoulder. I didn't know he was in jeopardy of missing the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know if that's definite or not, but gotcha. I'm saying if he doesn't.
Yeah, if he doesn't, they might be screwed. I don't know who their backup QB is. I think it's like Nick Foles, maybe.
I think so.
Oh my gosh! But the Jets, I think, I don't think they're gonna make them the. I don't think they're gonna pull Zach Wilson. There's talks about it, but if they don't, that team's gonna be in turmoil, man. Like. That was a terrible answer. He really did let them down, and to not own up to that, After all the quarterbacks in this class have owned up to it, after all the other young QBs, like it's the standard thing to do as a quarterback. You're the captain, you're the leader of the team. To not own up to your fellow teammates is awesome performance, and admit your own mistakes. You're gonna lose the locker room, man. Like I would quit for you on the field next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pull a Antonio Brown. Just take
be like the longest yard where they're just letting all the sacks go through for Paul.
Exactly.
Just get him lit up every play. Come on, guys.
Oh man. This next one is interesting to me. You got the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Titans are doing well. Ryan Tannehill's back. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to be back yet. I think at least one more week with his injury. But the Bengals are doing well. Joe Mixon got knocked out of last week's game. I still won my fantasy game, though. But he got knocked out of last week's game. I was like, I'm going to lose. I won by like 2 points. Oof. The guy had DeAndre Hopkins. And when I checked in, he needed 4 more points. And I was in a PPR league. He needed 4 more points to win the game. Wow. And I think DeAndre got him like 2 more points. I'm like, how do you not at least throw it to that man 4 more times? But yeah, this is
held on, man. That's what matters.
Yeah, I'll take the win.
Good defense. Good defense on your part.
This is an interesting one. I don't trust the Bengals defense against the Titans offense is essentially Derrick Henry. But I'm gonna go. Yeah. See, Joe Burrow is a good quarterback, but a lot of Joe Burrow's stats come off of screenplays and quick passes and yak.
Some RGP, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I don't know what the spread is. I don't think it's crazy big. It's a 1.5. Yeah, I'm going Cincinnati with this one.
Yeah, I could. Cincinnati's been coming alive, man. And Joe Burrow looks like he was right when he said calm down. Like after the 0-2 start, he's like, we're gonna right the ship, and they're turning it up. If Jamar Chase comes back, I think Cincinnati can definitely win. But I gotta ride Derrick Henry, man. Like he's so consistent right now. He really is that entire offense. But it's an awesome offense to have if you have Derrick Henry leading the way back there. So it'll be a close though, like 1.5. That's a toss-up, man.
That's essentially you're just picking straight up at that point. With a 1.5. Next we have the Falcons heading to Washington to take on the Commanders.
Ouch. Falcons,
they won against the Bears. The Commanders are doing really well. They're really bouncing back. 6-5. Doing their run game with Gibson and everything's doing well. Their defense is stepping up. I'm gonna go with the Commanders in this one. I don't know if I know what their spread is, but yeah, they're giving 4. So I'm going with the Commanders in this one. I think that the Falcons are still doing well, and I think it'll be a good game. I think 4 is about the right spot for me to just pick it straight up. So I'm going to go with the Commanders there.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with the Commanders, man. They're hot. I like that they're going to stay with Taylor Heineke. It looks like his kid's balling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Balling for Commanders, I guess. But he's doing well. The Falcons, I think Kyle Pitts just went on IR. Cordero Patterson's a monster. Might be making a little Hall of Fame case right there. I think he got his 7th touchdown over 100 yards or something like that. Well, he's a monster. But I got to ride the Commanders, man. They're too hot right now.
Yeah, I like their defense. So that's really my
Chase Young comes back, I think, too, as well. So
exactly. That's my swaying point is I like their defense. Mm-hmm. Next is Chargers heading to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. I don't know if Kyler Murray's coming back. They might still be going with Colt McCoy, which Chargers.
Kyler Murray's a little busy, man.
Chargers. I got to talk about last week. I kind of already did talk about last week's game, but Herbert kind of blew that one. I know that the defense allowed the Chiefs to march down the field and score. And, for people who are like, you're just saying that because you're a Dolphin fan and that. No, us Dolphin fans wanted the Chargers to win because we wanted to have the number 1 seed for however long we would have had it. It's just nice to sit back and be like, we're number 1. But you got 2 minutes. You got what? 36 seconds left. Second down and 2 timeouts. And you only have to go 35 yards. And you just throw the ball up into double coverage. And people are going to be like, well, what are you going to do? He was trying to force something. You don't force something with 2 timeouts and Like the amount of people that come to this kid's defense is funny to me. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm saying in that situation he made a bad decision. But obviously I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this one. I don't like the Cardinals. I don't know what happened to the Cardinals. I don't think their head coach makes it. I think he's going to get fired at the end of the year. Both of these head coaches might get fired at the end of the year. But I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. I don't like their defense, but I do like their offense. I know Williams went down with an injury again, but
Dang.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. And I think they're giving 4.5. So yeah, I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, man, it was a shame watching Justin Herbert. At the end, it would have been fun having the 1 seed for a little bit. And 2 timeouts, any other quarterback gets torn apart, and instead, I think it kind of sucks that there's some Charger fans who are just going to throw everyone else under the bus except for Justin Herbert. Like I'm sure Justin Herbert doesn't want that. Like he's not like Zach Wilson, but I'm sure he's going to take accountability for those kind of actions. That being said, I'm still taking the Chargers. Like the Cardinals are woefully incompetent. Like Brandon Staley and Cliff Kingsbury are 2 different kinds of fools, but they're both fools. But give me the lesser of the 2 fools, man. I'll go with the Chargers and Herbert and Staley, man. After that Chiefs loss, they need to win.
Yeah. The next one, Raiders in Seattle take on the Seahawks. For me, this is an easy one. I'm just going to go Seattle with this one. Geno Smith surprising the hell out of everyone as the games go on. Raiders, huge disappointment. Josh McDaniels. Got Mike McDaniel on my mind, one of the best coaches right now. Josh McDaniels might also get fired.
Yeah. The opposite of Mike.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel might be coach of the year. But yeah, I'm going Seattle. I really like the way Seattle's playing. DK Metcalf, all those guys. I'm going Seattle on this one. I still need Adams to get me some points though.
Yeah, well, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, they should be lighting it up for you, man. They don't have Wall or Hunter Renfrow. Like, you should get some points from there. It's crazy to say Geno Smith is balling, bro, but he is, man. Like, I got to ride with Seattle. Again, like I touched upon earlier, I'm anti-Russ, man. So the fact that Geno is balling with Seattle to me is a little cherry on top, man. It's like, hey, Russ complained about that team, and he's steering that ship beautifully, man. And you got DK Metcalf still and all those weapons. Kenneth Walker is balling. Go Seattle.
100%. This next one is going to be a butt whooping. You got the Rams heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Rams, people like to look. I remember when the Bills beat the Rams, and I think beat somebody else, or the Jets. Somebody beat the Rams, and they were like the defending Super Bowl champions. They are not. Like, that's cool. They won the Super Bowl last year, but this is not the same team. And the Chiefs are they're just good. You got Patrick Mahomes. You give him 13 seconds, he's going to get a field goal. Give Justin Herbert 2 timeouts and 20-something seconds, he's going to throw an interception.
There's levels to this, man.
I'm gonna get flames on the comment section by Justin Herbert fans. Chiefs all day, every day.
They'll come.
Yeah. Chiefs are holy crap. Chiefs are given 14.5. Yeah, Chiefs. I don't even. But the spread, I don't know. But I don't know. They might not even be that close. They might blow them out of the water. But I'm going Chiefs. Straight up, I'll go Chiefs.
14 points is a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah. There's still two NFL teams at the end of the day.
That's very true.
But yeah, straight up, it's not even a question. Like, you got to go Chiefs. Like, Mahomes is gonna, you talk about a Super Bowl hangover for the Rams. Like, they're still drunk, bro. Like, they're still. They woke up the next morning and they're like, oh no, like we're too much the night before, man. Like, I don't know what's happening with them. They just lost Cooper Kupp too. Like, doing them no favors. So, yeah, ride with the Chiefs, 100%.
Next, Saints taking on the 49ers. 49ers are getting real hot, making me nervous for next week. And the Saints, they won. They're winning with Andy Dalton up and down. This team is just very inconsistent. Jameis Winston sitting on the bench. 49ers. I think the 49ers are given 9. I'm going the 49ers in this one. I think their offense is too much. I watched a little bit of that game, the end around to Debo. It's just a thing of beauty. I'm going the 49ers.
Yeah, like, that offense is so stacked, man. Like, almost as stacked as the Dolphins is, but like, it was so terrifying. Like, when Debo checked into the backfield, and then everyone went out for a pass, and it was Christian McCaffrey, Debo, like Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Like as a defensive coordinator, I would slam my headset, man. Like that's, I'd be like, "What do you do, bro?" And like they absolutely thrashed the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So fun vibes and Estadio Azteca right there, you know, in Mexico City. But give me the 49ers this week also, man. Like no question.
Then we got the Sunday night game, which probably should have been flexed because, geez Louise. We got the Packers heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. Eagles are given 7. I wouldn't be surprised if this is interesting. The Packers tend to play and fight in interesting games, and the Eagles the past 2 weeks, they lost to the Reds. I almost call them the Redskins.
Close.
I still do San Diego Chargers. I do Oakland Raiders. It's
all the time.
It's years and years of it drilled into my head. But they lost to the Commanders, and they almost lost to the Colts. Very close to losing to the Colts.
17-16.
But I'm still going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're just too much for the Packers to take care of, and I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He just seems off. There's something off about him. I don't know if he's going to play another year. I think he might have mentally already checked out, and he's sitting there like, we're not doing anything. I'm just going to play, and then I'm going home. So I'm going to go with Philly.
This might be his last year, and he might go with go host Jeopardy, you know. But it's interesting in Green Bay, man. It's something is up with Rodgers. He looks mortal, man. Like he doesn't look like the same quarterback of old. Bit of a shame. Not as bad as like Peyton Manning's last season, but definitely shades of that. Like he doesn't look like the same guy who I'm going to trust with the Hail Mary. It's pretty high standard to hold him to. But that being said, I still do think he's got 1 or 2 games of magic left in the tank. And I'd rather he use one of those magic bullets this Sunday rather than on Christmas Day against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree.
So if he's going to play one of those tight games, I'm going to hope it's Sunday night, you know, against the Eagles. They've been a little sloppy, like you said, like against the Commanders, they lost. They barely beat the Jeff Saturday-led Colts. Like let's let Packers maybe like a 2017, like a very close game, you know.
I can see that
out on Sunday.
I could definitely see that happening. And then we have Monday night before we get to our game. You got the Steelers heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. I see this as another toss-up. You know, can go 1 or 2 way. You know, either way. The Colts are giving 2.5. Colts did well, almost beat the Eagles, and then the Steelers, I think they beat the Saints, or vice versa. I don't remember. I was too busy doing other things on our bye week.
Yeah, we were enjoying being
exactly. I watched the Jets-Patriots game. Other than that, I didn't watch anything else, which I regret. That's 4 hours I'll never get back watching paint dry. I don't know about this one. I'm gonna go Colts because they're home. That's about it. That's all I got out of that one.
Yeah, we'll ride Jeff Saturday, man. You know, he's definitely trying to change that culture around there, and they played the Eagles really tight. You know, they could very well be 2-0 under the Jeff Saturday regime right now. Let's give them the win over the Steelers. I just don't believe in Kenny Pickett, man. Like, not too much on him, but it's just maybe a little bit more time on the bench because the Steelers are just not too good right now, bro.
That's true. And finally, the Houston Texans, 1-8-1, heading down to South Florida, taking on the Miami Dolphins, number 1 in the AFC East, number 2 in the AFC. 13-point favorite, the Miami Dolphins. If you want to know my pick, you got to watch Friday. But if you want to know Nando's pick, he's going to tell you right now.
Damn, man. Definitely check out your picks on Friday, man. That's always a great episode right there. But as of right now, the Miami Dolphins have to clobber the Houston Texans. You know, like if the standard was Cleveland, hey, finally the Dolphins got a bad opponent and we did what we were supposed to do, took care of business and mollywopped them, we have to absolutely obliterate Houston, you know. We'll be polite, give a standing ovation to Laramie Tunsil, you know. We'll thank him for his services to the Miami Dolphins. But then after that, man, the gloves are off and we got to give them the business, man. Like there's no other option. Like if we can win by 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, that's what I want to see. Surprisingly, the over-run I think is really low in that game. It's like low 40s, I think.
Let me see.
So I guess we'll have to put like
46. Yeah, you're right.
Dang. So we'll have to put up like 30 points on our own to even try to come close to that. But hopefully we demolish the Texans, man.
I agree. We need that. But Nando, thank you so much for stopping by and helping me with the picks. Hopefully, everyone go check Nando out. There's some fantastic stuff, like he says. He brings that positivity. And thanks for stopping by, bud.
Dude, thank you for having me on, man. Definitely a milestone, if as any Dolphins YouTuber, man, like that's definitely a big milestone, man. So I appreciate you for having me on, man. If you guys want to check me out at Nando Talk, man, the road to 500 subscribers continues. So
Get this. What are you at right now?
460, 462 around there.
Get him to 1,000. Go over, subscribe to Nando Talk. Get this man to 1,000 subs. Give him a fantastic Thanksgiving gift. Go get him to 1,000 subs, please. From me, go help the man out. Nando, thanks for stopping by, bud.
Boss man, DouglieDoWrong, I appreciate you, bro. That'd be the most awesome Thanksgiving gift besides the Lions beating the Bills, man. So, thank you for that, man. It was always a pleasure.